So within the federal contract format, you'll find it in our, in the uniform contract, subpart 15.204-1. And so this is all outlined for you explicitly in that particular subpart. So part 1 is the schedule, which is the lengthiest part of the federal contract. It also has the most material and will require the most amount of work generally as you go through it. So in part 1, subsection A, you have your solicitation contract form. And so this may be your cover form. It includes your solicitation number, the date, the closing date of the contract, as well as the time, the number of pages that are outlined within your contract, and any contract info. Subsection B, supplies or services contract costs, include your descriptions of services, as well as any quantities of the supplies, what you think that you will need. Include the pricing in this area, as it is critical in your billing. When you do bill, you want to make sure that that Part B, supplies and services, matches with what you intend to bill on in the future. Section C is the description, specifications, and statement of work. Statement of work, or SOW, should be very tightly crafted and very well written. This should include benchmarks as well as any requirements for performance, as well as what you or what your office believes to be your end product. So make sure that you are being as specific as you can and accurate as you can when you're including that particular statement of work, because you will often go back to this as well if you need to know what it is that you're supposed to be doing, and the PI will be referring back to this. The packaging and marking, pretty self-explanatory. This includes specific instructions for packaging, packaging, labeling, any identification methodology that you need for that particular work. E, inspection and acceptance, the criteria for what would be an accepted form or accepted methodology to prove quality during an inspection. You could place your delivery methodology here, or you could also put it in section F, which is your deliveries or performance. Here are, again, what your requirements are for the project as far as time, the place of delivery, and the method. It's specified in this section. Section G, contract administration data, is the required accounting methodology, including your payment and any appropriate data is specified. Also, you can include here if you have a payment address, which is different than your street address. So there are different offices that will require payment go directly to a specific office. If there are changes to that, you can put those here.
This is so helpful, Angela, because when you see this, as a departmental research administrator, you'll start to see that this is a little bit different in structure than a lot of our grants happen to come across. But there's also things that we have to be wary of. One of the challenges that we run into this is because you're dealing with deliverables. When you've got to Section D and packaging and marking, one of the things we don't generally have when you have a grant is a deliverable that is actually something physical that would have to be packaged and delivered. But on contracts, you do. And we so often, as research administrators, are accustomed to putting together a budget estimate based on the way that we've done costs in the past, and we often overlook items if, for example, we had a deliverable and make sure that we include that shipping. But, for example, working at Caltech, there are sometimes deliverables that we do that require extensive shipping, extensive packaging, and sometimes have to go to places that are very expensive to ship to. And if we didn't take into consideration all of the costs in that scope of work and cost them all the way out, we don't have the ability to rebudget on a contract that you do on a grant. So you can really forecast problems if you're not looking at things differently because you're dealing with a different model. So seeing the federal contract format, this often shows up in the RFP or in the statement of work building at the proposal stage, and it doesn't always wait until the award stage. So I think this is a really great thing to kind of maybe keep in mind, as if I start to see these items line up as part of the proposal package, there may be a contract that's coming out of this, and I need to think about this differently, and I need to work with the faculty to make this go through in a much better manner with a lot more details, and I need to call my contract and grant central office because there may need to be some negotiations.